Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And basically, we're going to be discussing how black women and the white man's TV system is reinforcing the destruction of the black men and black families. And primarily, one of the major tools in this day for that is going to be Shonda Rhimes, who is in the same camp as Oprah Winfrey when it comes to black men and children. They really don't have a taste or responsibility to black men and children, meaning that they could care less about black families. Which is why a lot of her garbage show, when you look at them as far as family values, are getting winning a lot of awards and stuff. Not the same thing that was promoted during the era of the Cosby Show and A Different World. All right, so we'll discuss that in a little bit. So let's get started.
This may be the popular image of a powerful woman in Baltimore, but the real battle for peace, justice, and civil rights is being waged by these women.
If, with the nation watching, three black women at three different levels can't get justice and healing for this community, you tell me where we're going to get it.
That's right. The mayor, the state's attorney, and the head of Maryland's military are all black women.
I love this city, and I know we can be better than what we have seen.
Perhaps the face of Baltimore politics, Stephanie Rawlings Blake is the city's mayor. A former public defender, Rawlings Blake walked away with nearly 90% of the general vote in 2011 to win her first full term. A Baltimore native, she was first elected to the city council when she was just 25 years old. She is a graduate of Oberlin College and the University of Maryland School of Law. She's married and has a daughter.
I come from a long line of police officers.
Marilyn Mosby is Baltimore's newly elected state's attorney. After graduating from Tuskegee University, Mosby earned a law degree at Boston College and then joined the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office before becoming a prosecutor. She and her husband have 2 children.
I did not have any racial issues kind of coming through all of my career. I would have to say that it's been more about me being a female versus, being a male.
As the Adjutant General for Maryland, Linda Singh is in charge of the state's military department, including its National Guard. Having just taken the helm in February, Singh is the first black person and the first woman to hold the post. She is also a member of the governor's cabinet.
I just hope that we remember that trying to change culture, trying to change habits, does not happen overnight.
A high school dropout, Singh went on to graduate from college, earn 2 master's degrees, and receive a Bronze Star. The 50-year-old Maryland native is married with 2 daughters. Watching closely, the first black female Attorney General of the United States, who took office on Monday, the day the protests intensified. All-powerful black women whose legacy may forever be tied to this moment in Baltimore's history. Stephanie Elam, CNN.
Okay, understand these 3 positions. These are all appointed and elected positions. Okay, I want y'all to understand it. These are all appointed and elected positions. So, let's say, like I want y'all to do is, what I want you to do is keep in mind that all of these positions are appointed by the white man system, the same system that's responsible for slavery, the extermination of the Indian culture and people, the extermination of the black culture and people. All right, and all this will make sense in a minute, right? But I made a point to point out what the women are doing, basically because as men, black men, as black families, we are to have nothing to do with the white system of governance, period. Meaning no census, no voting, None of that. The system was not designed by the Almighty. It was designed by the white man in order to oppress people and allow him to maintain his power, even amongst his own white people that think that they have some sort of power. All right. Now let's look at Exodus 34, 14 through 16. All right, I'll read it real quick. 4. Exodus 34:14. 4. You do not bow yourself to another mighty one, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. Now, El is singular for Elohim. So, it's saying for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. Meaning, it's talking specifically about Yahweh, the author of the commandments and the creators of us. All right. Now, Exodus 34:15. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they whore after their mighty ones, and slaughter to their mighty ones, and one of them invites you, and you eat of his slaughterings. This is going to be significant. I'm going to come back to this, and this is the one I wanted to talk about. And you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones. And you make your sons whore after their mighty ones. So this is for these these black women who's dragging their children and their sons to church to whore after the white man's God, Jesus. All right. Not only do they whore after Jesus, the white man's God, but they don't even bother to study where that comes from. And they brainwash their children to ever not question anybody, any of that authority over that church. And that comes from out of slavery, so that you don't ever question what the slave master is doing. And that authority was given to the quote unquote reverend, so you don't question his authority. So he could tell you that obey those who rule over you, and where the Bible says if they're not coming as far as the commandments, you do not obey them. All right. Now let's get back to this. So basically, these black women have made a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, which are going to be the white men. And they whore after their mighty ones, which is Christianity. Their gods. See, here's what Christianity is. It is Mithraism. You worship the goddess Ishtar during Easter. The god Baal, Baal, during Christmas, which is the winter solstice. Most of the traditions come after witches. Even in the marriage ceremony where you go to church, most of those are witches traditions. Even the walking down the aisle, the veil, everything has nothing to do with the Bible. The white dress, nothing to do with the Bible. You fell for the Disneyland okie doke because you were brainwashed to fall for that since, say, like the 60s, when your moms decided that they're going to be a part of this feminist movement. Before that, we simply jumped the broom. It didn't take all that. All right, now you got to, you're brainwashed into wanting a ring, and anything that the white man want to brainwash you into doing in order to send money his way. Because all you do when you want an engagement ring, it don't mean crap biblically. All you're doing is following after a campaign that they had using Elizabeth Taylor to get you to buy De Beers rings, is because De Beers, saying that diamonds were rare, knew that diamonds weren't rare, and so in order to up the price, they needed to get more people to buy them. So that's why you started using getting diamond engagement rings and stuff like that. All that is a crock. But because black women wanted to be demonic and follow the devil instead of God, and I'm gonna just keep it real, all right, they decided that they're going to make a covenant with the white men who were the inhabitants of this land when we got here, and not remembering that, as Malcolm X said, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And every evil, every bad thing that is going on in all the countries, these white men are behind it. The destruction of our community, I would like to say the white men in the United States are behind it. They're behind the brainwashing, but you don't have to be brainwashed. The main people behind the destruction of the black community is the black woman, bar none. We've always had bad men. We've always had bad women. But despite that, during slavery, Jim Crow, and stuff like that, you had crime, but we had good family leadership. We had good family means. We had good family togetherness. We had men and women raising the children. The nature of our families was not the same as the nature of the white family, where the white woman was subservient. All right, and I often tell these black women is that basically back in them days, a black man used to come home, give the black woman his check, go back to work, and he could trust that she would do the right things with his whole check. The black woman was responsible for the money going to the bank. This made the white woman jealous. But black women were stupid, dumb, and evil. They saw the forbidden fruit, which was the white woman's ways, and the white women, like the serpent, conned the black woman into accepting their ways, their tradition, and their gods, which we did at slavery because that was beaten into us and shot into us and whipped into us. But once we came into the 1920s and stuff, we really took hold of their God. We really didn't, as far as slavery, we pretended. All right. Now, how did this happen? Because the black women were the ones that were taking us to church and telling us to listen to the pastor and stuff like that, while the black men were out fighting for freedom during the Gala Wars, which lasted about 100 years. But they don't teach you that in history class. Black men were always fighting for the freedom of the black people, but they were fighting in a long drawn out war, and they were winning a lot of battles. All right. Now, so what the black women did was she brainwashed her children, and then their children brainwashed other children, but it didn't hold that well with black men. All right. And so what do? It's assassinate the nature and the character of black men by using the black women to produce these TV shows and to put these black women in authorities to where they will have some say-so over black men, so that now they can be the ones incarcerating the black men. They could be the ones that got their foot on the neck of the black men. Because at the end of the day, the black women are doing it, but they don't have the power. The power that they have is still coming from a man. And they're doing what their white daddy is telling them to do, is because they buy into that system. And that's why I said they are whores after that system. Because that's what that's what the Almighty says. He says, you are whoring after their gods and their system. And we're not supposed to do that lest we make a covenant with them. Now, it says, and they whore after their mighty ones. So the black women are whoring after the white man, the white man's gods, and the white man slaughter to their mighty one. So when they came over here killing, raping, and doing everything, they did it in the name of Jesus. Remember, Sir Hawkins, he was the one that started the slave trade. First thing he said when he start catching them and came over here, he said, Jesus is your new God and I'm his representative. Google Sir Hawkins. Hawkins. Google Sir Hawkins, SIR, Hawkins, slave trade. Find out about him. Learn some history. Learn his history. Learn our history. All right? And so these black women are taking on and into the slaughter of the mighty ones. This is Rhymes. These are the people, the black women in political office. These are black men in political office. All right, this is everybody in political office, to include Obama. All right, and these women have sat down at the table with this men to eat of his slaughterings. Now, this is what's amazing. The amazing thing is, again, I say black women have no problem with forgiving a white man for murder, the rape, the molestation of children, the molestation of their ancestors' children, the rape of their ancestors, men and women. And we're talking about boys and girls. They forgive him from having farms. They forgive this man for never repenting of those crimes. Never has he repented, said I'm sorry, or did anything to make amends for those crimes. All right. So these black women that lust after the white man and his system can forgive all that. All right. They can forgive Jim Crow. They can forgive the poll tax. They can forgive the lynching of Medgar Evers. They can forgive the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They can forgive all of that. They can forgive them for putting crack in the black community. They can forgive that so long as that white man give them a position and then they can lust after him. And they could take them instead of his white woman. See, these black women here want to take the place of a white man's woman, and that's not going to happen. But in the meantime, black men, we need to leave them a hell alone. All right? Now, they could forgive all this from white men, but as soon as a black man hurt their feelings, oh, he got hell to pay. Pookie and Ray Ray going to shoot him. They're going to frame him and put him in jail. They're going to put him on child support or any other legal means. This is why I say the black woman has become demonic. You have to have an evil-natured heart in order to let all of that slide and turn on your own people. Period. To turn on your children. To have your children in the oven baking. To pick thugs over good men and then try to say that's because there aren't any good men. Alright, that logic don't even make sense. Because even if there's one good man, he should have a woman before any thug does. But what you have is a bunch of single good men trying to say that being good is weak. But then when you turn 40 and 50, get fat and out of shape, now you want a good man. And we ain't having it. Alright, now, this is why I said what I said. The black women have become whores, and they become the whores to whore after what is evil. And that's point blank. So let's continue.
It's Brandy, and yes, I'm back on BET. Oh my God! I'm on the set of my new romantic comedy, Zoe Ever After.
Zoe Moon's Office.
Can we get to work, please? It's gonna be a lot of fun as my character tries to balance dating.
Oh, girl, swipe left on that one.
He's cute. His profile picture is a mugshot. A complicated relationship with her ex.
What up, good people?
You're just going through a divorce. You're scared and you're lonely.
Motherhood.
Did you forget that we have a parent-teacher conference?
Did you forget that I have a parent-teachers conference?
My bad.
All while chasing her dream of starting a cosmetics line.
Work, cover girl.
What do you think about approaching Lupita about her being the very first face of Zoe Moon Cosmetics?
Other than your face, of course. You know, the hot young face.
Zoe Ever After will premiere in January, only on BET. We got you.
We got it. You want it, want it.
Now, understand this. This is my final thought. We need to leave BET and all these people promoting blackness with Essence and all of that. We need to boycott them, leave them alone. Not even boycott them. We need to leave them alone, along with the black women that watch this mess and are involved with that. All right? We need to leave them alone. If you're a good black woman, you need to leave them alone. Again, I keep saying this, that good black men and good black women need to unite. If there aren't any good black women there left, and they all want to buy into the white man system, first thing you look at is the weave. All right? If they can't change, if the weave has become their god, to which they say they cannot live without it, then we need to live without them. It's one thing to wear a thing, it's another thing when it becomes what you sought after and you can't live without it. All right, then that's like a crack thing, not being able to live without crack. All right, so basically we need to say no to them and leave them alone. If you're a good black woman, that you appreciate the beauty that the Almighty has given you, all right, then we need to not unite with y'all. Now, I was in a conversation with a woman there's a lot of Africans over here that are in their natural way. We can go to them, we can go to Brazil. Black men, we have options. That if we want a black woman, we have options. We don't have to deal with these black American women. All right. Now, I will say this. If you notice the difference between the black shows that the black women are promoting and what the black men had, you had the Cosby shows and you had Different World. Different World was responsible for putting college in the minds of a lot of children and telling them that they could get an education and be better than themselves. And HBCUs saw an uptick during that time. And a lot of colleges saw black people trying to get in. Black people start trying to graduate from high school and going to college. Right? These were shows produced by a black man. Then you had Singleton that produced movies. All right, that talked about the streets and stuff like that. But they were educating people on what was really going on in the street and how we get out of it. I learned what the word gentrification mean in the scene where what's his name? Lawrence Fishburne was talking to the brothers and explaining that in the movie. All right, but what do we get from black women? A bunch of mess crap. Other black women lusting after white men. Other black women being rewarded by being evil within the white man system. All right, you get men, black men. They have to always find a gay black man to put that message into black children. Oh yeah, it's okay. So we're going to find a gay black man and put him in a show. And thugs. Period. You see no successful family, black family, when you look at anything that is being promoted and rewarded with Emmys and Tony Awards and stuff like that. All right. And we're not talking Tyler Perry crap either. So just pay attention to this. With that said, I'm out.